Alright, we're just gonna get right into it here. I'm not gonna make you wait anymore. I mean, maybe that kind of was a good idea for a while, and I still might do that sometimes, but I'm not gonna do that this time. Uh, I don't know. I'm definitely not gonna do it this time. This is another Destiny debate. It's I started doing these a while ago because I liked him, and I just started critiquing his debates. So I've done this one before, but it messed up like in the middle of it, I think. I don't know. But now it's a video. So here we go. Let's do it.
Yeah, but they generally choose some restrictions to make their lives easier, like living in a society.
Sure.
Which brings with it a lot of rules. If I lived in a forest, I could run around naked all day. I could stand on my hands and jerk off into fucking trees. But I choose to restrict myself in a lot of fucking ways. And I think most people are okay with that trade-off.
Okay, well, like I'll give this example. There are, like most women actually in Saudi Arabia, if you talk to them, they actually say they'd prefer to have the limited amount of rights they have now than have equal rights and responsibilities as men.
Well, this is just a teaser for the video. This isn't like the start of the debate. This is how Destiny is doing it. I think it's a good thing too. I like it. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but I like the way Destiny is doing this.
Wait, that's just proving my argument. That people choose more restrictions in order to make themselves happier. So the animals would all want to wear burqas, basically, in the farm.
Not necessarily. So, like, I don't know where I was going with that. Now I totally forgot. But anyway,
Vegan gains.
hey, what's up, man?
Nothing much. Just looking forward to a riveting conversation about veganism.
All right. Well, you just said you responded to me, when I was in the chat. You said lack of social consequences makes it okay to kill animals.
No, I'm saying that's why I don't do it. I was like giving you like a descriptive position, not telling you like morally we ought to do something because of a thing. I was just explaining why.
So you're saying why you do it personally?
Yeah.
Because there's no social consequence?
Yep.
Okay, so have you maintained basically the same position from our last debate?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so essentially you're saying because animals cannot form a social contract with us, therefore it's okay for us to murder them?
Yeah, basically there would be like no repercussions for eating animals indefinitely, so yeah.
Shit.
If you're tired of reading about other people getting rich in the stock market, this might be a good day for
Shut
you.
up.
Okay, wait. Now you're basically going back on the position you basically just said it, like when you were responding to me in chat.
Which was
like
what?
Well, you said because there's no social repercussions for you, therefore it's morally okay to kill animals.
Oh, I don't think that there's I don't believe that there are like.
Well, isn't there a social thing? I mean, shoot, this is weird. They didn't. I don't think they're really gonna get into the nuance of this point. The nuance is you can't really go around killing animals. They don't talk about food animals. I think they're talking about animals in general. If you go around killing like dogs and cats and stuff, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get arrested. I'm pretty sure that's because that is a crime. But I think I know what they're talking about here. They'll just, I don't know. I just went back on one of my points, didn't I? Whatever. Yeah, okay, fine. They're talking about food animals here, but I had to bring up the nuance.
Objective moral truths in the world. So I just kind of like.
Well, it doesn't matter if they're like. I'm not talking about there being objective moral truths. I believe
cool.
morality is subjective as well.
Oh well, if you believe morality is subjective, then why should I care about animals?
Okay, well, we have our own sort of goals, right? Like we don't want to see children getting raped.
Sure. So my goal is to maximize like human well-being.
Okay, if your goal is to maximize human well-being, then clearly the world going vegan would maximize human well-being, because if you read the UN's latest climate.
My next question to that is he for or against animal abuse? Because that has pretty much no effect on human well-being.
Report, chapter 5, page 76, they actually outline how switching to a completely plant-based food system would improve food security. So it would be able to produce more food, adequate nutrition for a larger population using less land than we currently have today. People on a plant-based diet live longer. They have lower risk of chronic disease. The risk of zoonotic diseases, so like the coronavirus or any other new novel viruses that'll pop up, it's going to be massively reduced because we have less contact with animals.
Yeah.
And we're certainly not.
Will you really be healthier though if you go vegan? I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Going to put them in, these tight confined spaces. We're not going to cage them. We're not going to put bats next to pangolins. That type of stupid shit. So if you're like interested in maximizing the well-being of the human species, then clearly you'd support veganism.
Yeah, in terms of like economic policy and in terms of like climate policy, of course. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So then why the hell aren't you vegan?
Because me going vegan personally represents a great cost to my personal life and makes absolutely zero gains in terms of the overall climate of the planet. Why the fuck would I make such a huge sacrifice personally if other people weren't forced to do it?
Okay, so let's say banning slavery would be a huge benefit to the human race, which I'd say it is. And you were a slave owner, would you?
Wait, let's move to less loaded examples because you're gonna do the thing where you're like, what? Well, you? No. I would like to. I'm not weaseling out, but the problem is that like if I answer the hypothetical like honestly or accurately, like you're gonna take a sound clip, or you're gonna put like the dumbass fucking glasses on and make like the clip.
No, I don't do that.
You literally do. I literally watched you make a response video where you like wear like the glasses and have the facial hair and you give like my answers verbatim to your things because you're posing like insane hypotheticals, which normally I don't mind entertaining. But like when I know you're gonna strum in the fuck out of me and like do emotional appeals afterwards, like it's just really annoying.
Okay, I made a response video to you once, and I don't recall doing any kind of skits.
Okay, I remember skits of you where you wear like glasses and have facial hair. You were like wearing a lumberjack shirt or whatever. Are you sure that this isn't a video you've made before in the past?
Lumberjack shirt. I can't remember me making a video response to you and me doing any skits. I recall doing a pretty serious response where basically I was just responding to your position that animals can't form a social contract. But look, change. Like the point I'm trying to make here is that change has to start with you. If you want to see the world go vegan, or if you want to see slavery be abolished, how the hell can you support these things while owning slaves?
Well, my fundamental axiom is that I think we should do our best to maximize human well-being. So I wouldn't be able to own slaves.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know how to get rid of that echo. Sorry.
Right, okay, and if you want to maximize human well-being, then why would you support the animal holocaust, which negatively impacts the human race?
Because me enslaving an individual, violates, to a huge maximum, my individual goal of maximizing human well-being. Me going vegan has a negligible impact on anything in society and represents a great cost personally to me.
Okay, well, the biggest choice you can make in terms of your environmental impact, it's actually your diet. So I don't understand how you
the individual. Do you understand and accept that the impact that any one individual has on climate change is negligible?
Okay, and
And actually, organic farming could actually end up costing more and actually be less healthy because of they use pesticides in organic farming too, like copper sulfate, and the thing is they have to use more of it, and it has more of a there's more of a risk of that getting in the groundwater and contaminating it and getting people sick.
Any one individual, but the biggest change that you can personally make would be your diet.
But
And
that
again, if this is
individual
something-
change,
well, look.
do you understand that that individual change represents a great personal cost and does essentially nothing for the
What do you
environment?
mean a great personal cost?
As in, you have to make like a significant change to your life in order to do it.
No, you really don't.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah, you do.
No, like
Yeah.
okay, so,
Yeah, you
Yeah, you do.
when
really
you go to
do.
KFC,
Mhm.
you have to choose the plant-based burgers rather than get the normal burger.
So I'm not sure like which like ultra fucking like shining white suburb you live in, but like finding like good vegan food in like every part of the world that you go to is usually pretty difficult. Making like sacrifices, it's not making sacrifices to go like with all like I know like I live in LA now, so there's like Impossible Burgers and all that shit in a lot of the places around here, but not every single place around the world, not even every single place in the US is like that. And then food is like one of the hugest things of a person's life. Like literally you eat like 2 or 3 times a day, you engage with food more than almost any other thing, and like the vegan substitutes right now for meat taste like shit compared to the actual thing. So in terms of like all the sacrifices I could make in my life, like going vegan would be like a pretty big one. Like it would be a pretty big detriment to like I would have to deal with like 2 times of the day for me. So yeah, I would say that's like a
Okay,
decent
well,
like drawback.
Giving up on owning a slave would be a pretty big detriment to a slave owner.
Thankfully, owning a slave is like right there, like against my maximum of like maximizing human well-being. And not owning one slave makes a significant difference in the life of that one slave. Not participating in animal agriculture is basically a wash in society at the end of the day. It makes no difference.
Yep, I agree
Today
with
I'm
that.
talking to you about how I got started as a content creator with Fiverr. When I started out,
You can stop.
Uh,
I don't like ads. They're stupid. I mean, whatever.
Okay, so you're saying it would benefit the human race not to, partake in animal agriculture, but you're still going to support animal agriculture.
Yeah, I mean, I would vote against it if I had to, but in terms of like partaking in it, like whether or not I do or don't, at the end of the day is a wash. So what motivation do I have to partake in an activity that significantly harms me or changes my lifestyle, but impacts the environment? Okay. I guess we just disagree about harm.
Extending your life expectancy, reducing your risk of chronic disease, reducing your environmental
First of
footprint.
all, you can hold on, without talking a minute. So you can reduce your risk of chronic disease and increase your diet all without eliminating animal products. Like significantly curbing your consumption of like red meats alone will probably get you halfway there, and then significantly curbing your consumption of dairy will probably get you like another quarter of the way there. You don't need to be on a complete plant-based diet to maximize your health. You just need to significantly reduce your intake of animal products.
No, you actually do. Being on 100%.
How much do you want to bet right now? Do you think?
Check out the Oxford Vegetarian.
I don't need to check it out because I've already read all these shitty vegan arguments before. Like,
No,
if you compare any plant-based diet, if you compare a plant-based diet to the average American diet, where we massively overconsume meat. Okay, well then I just don't give a fuck that much. Then I would rather live to be 70 than live to be 80.
Okay, so when I can actually prove what you're saying is wrong, you don't give a fuck anymore?
I don't. I think that if you make a significant improvement to your diet, I don't think that means you have to cut all animal-based products out of it. I don't think you're right on that. If you want to like be something like that, I'd be interested. Like against like a healthy diet that incorporates like a variety of what?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So if you look at the Oxford Vegetarian cohort, I think the cohort's been going on for almost 2 decades now. They compare basically healthy meat eaters. So there's 4 different food or diet categories. There's meat eaters, infrequent meat eaters, pescatarians, vegetarians, and vegans. Only the vegetarians and vegans had a statistically significant reduced risk of all-cause mortality. And they also
Can you give me some numbers when you say significantly reduced risk? What does that mean?
Okay, let me actually find this for you. I'll look up the confidence interval here.
I don't need the confidence interval. I just want some numbers related to, like, are we talking about people that live to like 83 versus people that live to like 81? Because I'll probably lose 2 years of my life at the worst end of my life, being very fucking old, to eat meat my entire life.
Is this guy being condescending? I don't know. This just sounds like he is.
Let me just check here. So the study's called Mortality in Vegetarians and Comparable Non-Vegetarians in the United Kingdom. So yeah, this cohort's been going on for almost 2 decades. And if you scroll down
can you shoot it to me?
In the UK, all food animals all around the world being fed the same thing? I don't think so. I might be wrong about that though.
Yeah, sure. I'll send you a link. So I'll just drop it in the chat here. So if you scroll down to page 25.
Wait, where is the chat? What is the chat?
Oh, I'm just in. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I think it's in general that I dropped it in.
Like general.
Yeah, general,
voice?
my dude.
General,
Yeah,
my dude.
Okay, I'll drop it in there.
Gotcha.
General, my dude. Okay, and if you scroll down to page 25, so the second paragraph on the right, they basically give you the confidence intervals. So this is deaths before age 90. So the HR for vegans was 0.92, confidence interval between 0.84, 0.99. The point estimate was 0.92. So that was the only diet group that was at a statistically significant reduced risk of all-cause mortality before the age of 90. So basically, based on the point estimate, you have an 8% lower risk of dying before 90 of all causes. Now, I know some people will argue that's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's not. You're not selling me hard on that. And these are going to be like, you're giving me, I know, like the best cherry pick stats you can find is like an 8% reduced risk of mortality. Like,
okay, well, listen, 8% reduced risk of all-cause mortality is pretty significant.
Yeah, that's not a hard sell for me. 8%.
For talking about cause-specific mortality, depending on what it is, you might be able to argue that it's not that significant. Like if you're talking about something like pancreatic cancer, that's not a huge reduced risk, but dying of all causes, 8%, like almost 10%, that's pretty big. That's relatively significant.
Yeah, it's like relatively, yeah, like it's definitely something to think. Like I'll try to, you know what? I'll try to hit like the gym an extra day of the week to compensate for the risk then.
Okay, well, I don't know if that would really be enough for you because this is a what do you call it? Multivariate analysis. So they factor in things like smoking, physical activity, things like that. They
wait.
Make sure it's an apples to apples comparison.
Hold on 1 second.
I'm Nat Rosasco, Principal and Creative Director of Olive Street Design, located right outside of Chicago, Illinois in Villa Park, and I'm a Duda convert. Before Duda, we're bringing in about 7 to 8 clients per month. It was difficult to grow the business with WordPress. The time to make a site was about
Damn, that sucked.
Okay,
That wasn't good at all.
Go through this entire thing.
Crazy.
Well, you don't. Like, I'm just
real quick because I'm just reading these results here. So there were 5,294 deaths before the age of 90 and over 1 million Y of follow-up. There was no significant difference in overall all-cause mortality between the diet groups. HRs and low
Yeah,
meat eaters, fish eaters, and vegetarians compared with regular meat eaters.
Well, read the confidence intervals. It's like they say there was no difference, but if you read the confidence intervals, there was.
90,
I don't know why they wrote it that way.
95% confidence interval, 95% confidence interval, 95% confidence interval.
No. You're look at this is a 95% confidence interval, but look at the confidence interval themselves. Only the vegan group, it doesn't cross the null, which is 1. So confidence interval of 0.84 to 0.99. If it crosses the null, which is 1, then it wouldn't be statistically significant. We
got to move on to an argument. You're like, I know for a fact that because your life is vegan debates. If this is the best you have for me, then your arguments suck shit. Because I guarantee you that like there's going to be a million other things out there that probably argue against this, and like this is not very compelling. I'm sorry,
dude. You just made the argument that you can optimize your health without eating entirely plant-based, and
to be clear, first of all, this is not very compelling. In fact, this is like strong evidence against that. I might use this in anti-vegan debates in the future. Thank you. And secondly, I didn't say that you could completely negate it. I said that the majority of like the horrible health impacts from the current diet probably aren't due to the fact that we eat any animal products at all. It's probably due to the fact that the diet is incredibly unhealthy, period.
Yep.
Whether we were eating animal products or not. Like we can
Definitely.
modify our diet greatly to be a lot healthier, but that doesn't mean eliminating all animal products from the diet. That's a really silly and arbitrary way of limiting the food intake.
Data disagrees with you.
Okay.
Okay, so tell me why only the vegan and vegetarian group had a statistically significant reduced risk of all-cause mortality.
Okay, which page is that? Do I need to see this?
Well, I just told you it's page 225, and you read it out just now. Page 225.
No, I was literally reading the results from page 1.
Oh no. Okay, so it's page 225, and it's the second paragraph on the right, and it's underneath the table 2.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
So far, I'm not convinced.
Okay, reading the second paragraph. With 2 exceptions, there was no significant heterogeneity of risks between men and women, between never, former, and current smokers, or between low weight, normal weight, and overweight participants for any of the 6 most common causes of death.
Okay, no, you're not reading the right thing.
Okay, I'm on page 225.
225. It's underneath table 2, so it's not the actual table. It's the rest of that page. So it's the second paragraph on the right. So it starts off, when we exclude data for participants known to have changed diet group at least once during follow-up.
Okay, so sure. So when we excluded data for participants known to have changed diet group at least once during the follow-up, leaving data for 4,270 deaths before age 90, there was no significant difference in risk between diet groups for all causes of death combined as follows.
Right, and then if you actually read the confidence intervals...
Okay, I have a feeling you probably don't understand the stats here. Or are you telling me that... So they just wrote it incorrectly then in this paragraph?
No, they wrote it correctly. It's just that sentence, there was no significant difference in risk between diet groups. That sentence is inaccurate because there was actually...
I'm sorry, dog. I'm gonna go with the researchers writing here over your interpretation of what the numbers mean. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
are you telling me? Are you telling me a confidence interval between 0.84 and 0.099 is not statistically significant?
What does that mean? What does a confidence interval of 0.84 to 0.99 mean?
Okay, so confidence interval, it's a statistical tool that gives you a good guess between where an outcome will lie. So if you have a confidence interval that does not cross the null being 1, then that would be statistically significant, and with a 95% confidence, you can say an outcome will fall somewhere between these 2 points.
Okay, so and your points for all of these, and look at the different confidence intervals you're given. So you've got 0.85 to 1.02.
Right.
You've got 0.81 to 1.02. You've got 0.84 to 0.99. Like, these are all almost identical.
Significant. No. The one is statistically significant, the one isn't.
Do you want me to bring a stats person here to argue with you, or?
Okay, sure, if you want. Like, I mean, that is by definition statistically significant.
I don't understand how. Okay, hold on. Now I'm curious because now I want to know how the vegan brain works. So you're confident in and to be 100% honest, I'm a fucking music school dropout. Okay, I don't do numbers and all that shit. Okay, it's confusing to me. Okay. You're confident that your interpretation of these numbers is more accurate than the actual publishers, the researchers of this paper.
Okay, dude, it doesn't matter what they say in the fucking sentence. What matters is the actual fucking data, the numbers.
What?
They could say
What they say in the
they could make
sentence?
write a song about fucking Christmas. Doesn't matter what the fuck they say. The numbers, the actual results are what matter.
Okay,
So I don't
do you
care
have
what
like
they
is there like a
said.
is there like a graph of these numbers anywhere so that we can see, like, because you're literally, this is like alt-righter logic right now. This is like, I read the paper on like how brains and human IQ works, and even though the researchers disagree with me, like I saw the number, like,
What are you talking about? We're talking about the results of the study.
no,
so
we're not. No, there's a
what the
reason.
author said in the sentence leading up to
The-
what the results reported are.
So there's a reason why laymen like us tend to stick to the abstracts. Like, these are published researchers working with a
I'm not reading
2-decade-old cohort. No, you're not. But that's the problem. Is you're reading a
The
sentence
longer
and you don't like the
cohort,
sentence.
better
And
the data. What do you mean
Ex-
2-decade-old?
exactly. What I'm saying is that the researchers that are working on these papers probably know what they're talking about. So if they're going to tell me that there's not a statistical,
Destiny,
yeah,
Destiny,
okay.
It doesn't fucking matter what the hell they said leading up to the actual numbers we're talking about. What matters is the actual numbers.
Okay.
So
So
what
you're
does it
just
matter what
because
does it matter what the sentence says?
because you're probably reading the number.
So if there's a sentence that says there was a margin of error in this study, that sentence wouldn't matter. What would matter is the numbers. But numbers have a margin for error. That's weird. That doesn't make sense. That sounds stupid.
Numbers wrong.
How am I reading the numbers wrong? So do I not know what 0.099 is? Like, what are you talking about?
So not only was their sentence incorrect here, their sentence and the results were incorrect as well. You've managed to go through this study and you've divined the truth, like that stands in contrast to the results the researchers themselves give in the results paragraph of their page.
Okay, Destiny.
Wait, can you just answer that yes or no instead of talking around that? Like, can you?
No, I'm not talking around it.
You're
Destiny,
talking
I don't
around
care
it.
about the results of the paper. I don't care what the fucking researchers said about their findings.
Well, okay, I do.
Why
So
not?
that's just the difference. I'm a layman when it comes to this
Okay,
stuff.
so you're gonna ignore. Okay, so you're just gonna flat out ignore the actual numbers, the actual results of the paper, and you're just gonna focus on what they said because that supports your viewpoint.
No,
Okay,
I'm
Destiny, what if
gonna
this
go
was the
with.
other way around. Okay, cool. What if this was the other way around? The numbers show that the vegan group actually died sooner. They had a higher increased risk of mortality, but the researchers said the opposite. Oh, look, the vegans lived longer. Would you care more about what the researchers said, even though the numbers and the data actually contradict their claims?
I don't. I'm not looking at the numbers themselves because I don't have a background in stats to know how to interpret it. But I would read what the results say. That's what I would read.
Okay, so Destiny, you're saying if the actual numbers that they reported showed that vegans had an increased risk of all-cause mortality, but the researchers said they had a decreased risk of all-cause mortality,
Like,
then you're saying you'd still rely on.
It's possible that the researchers, what they're saying is giving more nuance to what the researchers are researching instead of just numbers, because flat out really numbers don't really tell you much nuance.
What the researchers say, rather than the actual data.
I'm yes, because I'm a layman. I can't interpret. I know you don't understand how any of this works. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say to you.
No, I do.
So
No,
I'm reading the conclusion of your paper that you linked me. This was your killer paper for me, and I assume you probably bring this out in every debate you have. Is United Kingdom-based vegetarians and comparable non-vegetarians all-cause mortality. Differences found for specific causes of death merit further investigation. You're telling me that the researchers are all just fucking retarded. They don't know their own paper. They don't know their own data, even though they've worked with these data sets for 2 decades and they're in charge of publishing it. They're wrong and you're right.
That's one way of putting it.
Okay, that's all I needed to hear. All right, what's your next argument then?
Okay, dude. So you're actually admitting that you have no argument against the actual results, and you're just basically going off of what somebody said in the paper.
My guess, if I could find a guy that knew stats, my guess is you probably just don't know how to read the confidence intervals.
No, this isn't okay, dude. This isn't particularly difficult. Very basic way to read a confidence interval is
Nuance
if the confidence
matters.
interval doesn't cross 1. So if all the numbers are above 1 or if all the numbers are below 1, then that's a statistically significant finding. Okay, so since the confidence interval is 0.84 to 0.99, that's statistically significant. That's the only group that had a statistically significant reduced risk of all-cause mortality. It's very simple.
If it's so simple, then why did the researchers mess all of this up?
Okay, well, they might not have messed it up. Maybe they have some sort of weird bias and they didn't want to report that, I don't know, vegan.
That's a way of saying I'm kind of light anyway. It doesn't matter what they say. I'm kind of light no matter what. God. I hate the way this guy talks. I just hate it. This guy's infuriating. I'm actually playing Fallout 3 with the volume down. While listening to this. I'm tempted to fucking stop listening to this altogether, but I mean, I said that I would do this, so I'm gonna do it.
And vegetarians had a lower risk of all-cause mortality. It does happen that researchers working on these studies have some sort of weird bias.
Why would they be?
There was okay, well, listen, there was a Metarex study that was published recently. The researchers clearly had a bias. They basically said because people just enjoy eating red meat, people should eat it. Like, that was literally one of the things that was stated in the Metarex study.
Like, this is literally an Oxford published study. This is an Oxford published study looking at this cohort.
Okay, so
it seems like I feel like the people would know basic stats.
Okay, dude, you're telling me researchers can't have bias? They couldn't have made some sort of mistake here? They couldn't have made any kind of error with how they reported on this? Like, I'm going to go by the numbers, not what they said. Okay, so Destiny, you don't have an argument here. I think you're just going to have to...
We sided at the exact same time.
In this paper, they were the only group that had a statistically significant reduced risk of all-cause mortality. Simple as that. It was at about, the point estimate is about 8%.
Why would I trust, and if these guys don't even know how to do basic stats, why would I trust...
Okay, wait. You're saying I don't know how to do basic stats?
No, I'm saying, well, no, you clearly know how to do stats, but these guys clearly have no fucking idea, so why would I trust any of their study?
Okay, Destiny, this sort of thing happens all the time, okay? Researchers, authors can make mistakes.
And it got past peer review and everything. This is an actual published thing that's been followed for decades.
So, yeah, Destiny, there are plenty of mistakes that are published in research all the time.
Hold on. This isn't...
what the hell that has to do.
Sure. This isn't just like a... This isn't...
So, Destiny, notice how this isn't about you proving that these numbers don't mean anything. This is about you saying we should listen to the researchers who wrote this. So basically, you're just making an appeal to authority.
First of all, an appeal to authority is not a logical fallacy. A fallacious appeal to authority would be a logical fallacy. I am going to appeal to the authors of the study about the content of said study. I don't believe it's fallacious to do that, especially when every author that worked on the study is going to be more qualified than...
So I'm eating pizza. Yes, Destiny is right here.
You or me to do basic statistic interpretation. The fact that this is not only peer-reviewed and published, the fact that the very results in both the abstract and results section disagree with your conclusion makes me highly suspect that your interpretation is probably a little bit biased.
Okay, so you can't actually explain why I'm wrong. You're just basically saying, well, they're researchers, so they know more than you. That's not really a valid argument in my eyes. And Destiny, this sort of thing happens all the time. There's a recent study on bone fracture risk. They totally fucked up.
That was not an insult. What he said was, the researchers know more than me and you. That's not an insult.
Basically, their analysis, rather than using, so what they did was they stratified for BMI and.
I don't care about it. You're like, this isn't just like a random error. You literally are like, you are literally telling me that the conclusion of this entire study is wrong because they can't do a basic stat check. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah. Okay, they might have done a stat check. It's just that their interpretation of it was wrong, or they dishonestly reported on it, or they were being, I don't know, maybe precautious.
Wait, who
because
is
they
the publisher of this study? Paul Abley is the first name on this paper.
Okay.
This guy is literally a fucking vegan.
Okay.
If that's not bias,
Okay.
I don't know what is.
What the hell does this have to do with the actual numbers? You're not actually giving me an argument for why my interpretation of these results is wrong. You're basically saying, "Oh, okay, they wrote it down that way, so you're wrong."
You are the debate, bro. The people say that I am. How do I get rid of people like you? Why do you do this?
Hi, we're a web design platform called Duda. This is what our platform looks like, and this is what it can do for your agency.
Can't listen.
Okay,
wait.
Destiny,
I'm not even.
okay.
We're not having a debate. I just want to have
Destiny,
a
can you
human to human.
Can you
Yeah.
explain why my interpretation of these results is wrong? Don't just say, "Oh, well, they wrote
I
it
don't
down
know
that
how to
way."
read. I don't really know much about stats. I never took stats. Was for
Okay,
losers
cool.
in school that wanted an
So
easy
then you
GPA.
have-
Okay, I took
So,
calc.
okay, Destiny, since
Yeah.
you don't have an argument, I think you're just going to have to accept for now that, guess what? In the study, they found that vegans and vegetarians had an 8% reduced risk of all-cause mortality compared to the other diet groups.
Can you show me the
Which is not
tables in this study that like analyze the different mortality rates among these diseases? I'm curious. Is it like listed anywhere in here?
Yeah, it's down lower. So if you just scroll down to table 3, number of deaths before age 90 and HRs for 95% confidence intervals, you can scroll down. It goes through all the cause-specific causes. So it goes from, let's see, malignant cancer, and it has cancer-specific sites, disease of the nervous system, circulatory disease, ischemic heart disease. You can just go through everything.
Okay, and how do I see like the percentage of the total groups? Does it list that in here or no?
What do you mean percentage of
So
total?
like I see like 686 regular meat eaters died of malignant cancer. Can I find out the percentage of the original sample size of that or no?
Well, okay, so it
Like have you gone through and actually looked at the percentages here to see if it does support your
What do
conclusion?
you mean percentages?
Well, so what you're
people? Wait. So this is the number of people in the cohort that they're looking.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna end this. I don't see, I'm sorry, I just don't wanna do this anymore. I tap out, I'm tapping out. I mean, I'm gonna keep listening to the debate because I like it, but I'm not gonna do it like this anymore. And I'm not gonna stream them anymore. I don't think. And I would like to get in touch with Destiny and like be a companion on his debates. Like, so during one of his debates, I can like make comments on stuff they miss. I mean, hey, do you want to talk? Whoever's watching me, wanna? I can see the live chat right now, so. Here, I'll show you how far I'm out from this. I'm gonna do something stupid, but I don't care. Mm. Ooh.